Did you miss me? Did you miss me? Did you miss me? Did you miss me? Okay, so the third season of Sherlock, if you live in England or have access to the internet, you've probably seen it already. It's probably been done for a while, but for me, I wanted to watch it when it was on TV, so they aired it on PBS. The last episode aired last night. Each season is only 3 episodes, so luckily it doesn't take that long to catch up. So yeah, the 3 episodes, each 90 minutes long, and since there's only 3, I have the ability to go through and review each individual episode. Like, I could do that with every show, but that would be terrible. With here, there's only 3, so it's much easier. So I'm going to review each episode, give some overall thoughts, and my final rating. Spoiler! I'm going to spoil the hell out of each episode. Don't watch it if you haven't seen the season or the episodes or whatever. Start off, I just want to say that usually each season has, like, an episode that is considerably weaker than the other. Like, season 1 had The Blind Banker, season 2 had Hound of the Baskervilles. This season, they were all great. They were all, like, great episodes. And, like, although I did, like, one the least and, like, one the best, they were all even. Like, Hound of the Baskervilles was clearly worse than Right and Backfall and Scandal in Belgravia. I believe that was season 2. Anyway, I'm ranting. Okay, so episode 1 was The Empty Hearse. This, of course, was focused around the return of Sherlock, and that is what I think they did the best. The reveal of Sherlock to John was absolutely, it was awesome, it was hilarious, it was also showed a lot about the character. And John really did carry this episode. He had a lot of acting to do between, like, his relationship with Mary, his relationship with Sherlock, where he's come, how he wants to go back, but he doesn't want to go back. He had a lot to do in this episode. He pulled it off really well. Martin Freeman really carried this episode. But the big question that everyone has been asking, both in the show and the fans of the show, is how did Sherlock survive? And I did like how they presented, like, multiple theories of how it happened by the one character who I don't know his name, the really weird guy with the beard, how he had this whole club dedicated to all these theories. I did like them, but when they did finally reveal how he did it, it's kind of disappointing. Like, obviously it was realistic, and I liked it. I did like it, but I just expected something like, holy shit, that's how it happened. It's a minor complaint. I still liked it. They kind of lay a lot of seeds for what's going to be happening later, either this season or what I assume is going to be happening later in the show. In this episode, like, there's a lot that you have no idea why or how it really happened, like John in the fire. Mary's character worked really well. She had a good dynamic with both John and Sherlock. Their dynamic as a trio worked really well. I like that. And usually the main plot, like the main misery that they're trying to solve is the primary thing that's happening in each episode, but this time it was kind of in the back. Like, it didn't really matter. I had to look up because I kind of forgot what the main plot of this episode was. It was good, but it wasn't really important. Anyway, I give The Empty Hearse an A. It was a really, really solid episode, one of the better ones of the show. And then next we have The Sign of Three, the wedding episode. Now, when I said I liked one best and one the worst, most of you probably assumed this was the one I liked the least, or maybe in the middle. This was my favorite episode. I really, really liked this episode, and a lot of it, I can't really describe why I liked it. But this was my favorite episode of the season. It was one of my favorite of the show, like, probably in my top 2 or 3. I haven't really thought about it. Now, The Reidenbach Fall is definitely my favorite. Anyway, at first, the presentation of the episode seems kind of odd. It's very unorthodox. I've never done it before, because pretty much the entirety of the episode is Sherlock giving this speech and telling the stories about him and John and the mysteries that they solved. And the format was a little weird at first, it took some getting used to, but I really liked it once I adapted to it. And just Sherlock's speech as a whole, even if we just take the chunk that's right before where he starts telling the stories, it was really, really captured what I thought the character, or at least this vision of him was. He was very, like, classic, just, like, cold, analytic. He was also funny. And then there was some, like, emotional moments, and he didn't even realize he was being emotional. Like, he causes everyone to cry, just like, what did I say? And it was really good. I really liked that. A lot of people, the main problem they had with this is that the 2 stories he happened to tell are the ones that apply to this specific murder that's about to happen. And yeah, it's a TV show. Like, I accepted it. I didn't really have a problem with it. I loved it. I think the 2 stories, because I liked it. I think it worked well. Shows a lot of emotions for the character, especially at the end when after Sherlock does the whole speech, plays the song, and then he has no one to dance with. And even though he kind of likes to think that no, he doesn't care, he does care a little bit. But I think there's some good emotions. Obviously, John and Mary had some good things going on. There's a whole dynamic because all the characters were there. The entire police squad was at the table. And anyway, this was my favorite episode. I give The Sign of 30 an A+. And the final episode, most people's favorite, was actually my least favorite. His Last Vow. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's bad. It was very, very good. It was excellent. It's like I really think this one struggled with the execution because it had some great ideas. There were specific moments that were mind-blowing. Like after Sherlock gets shot in the chest and he has to deal with like what to do, blah blah blah. That was probably my favorite moment of the entire series. It was just so great. It has everyone just telling him what to do. It's like, okay, where's the bullet? Did it go? It's like, no, it doesn't matter what the gun is. If you didn't see this episode, I'm just like ranting and listing random sentences. Anyway, it was really awesome. That's probably my favorite moment in the entire series. And when he reveals Moriarty in the back of his mind, that was awesome. It's just at certain points, I didn't know what was going on. It was muddled. It was a little confusing because there's certain things, and I still don't understand. Like, I'm not going to really get into it, but it was a little too muddled. It kind of was a little bit confusing, and that was really what brought this episode down for me. The ending was awesome. It was so unexpected. Not like the epilogue, really, but like the actual ending when he... Merry Christmas. That was mind-blowing. I did not see that coming at all. It was just... The show can still surprise you, if you are worried about that. And it's very unpredictable, like when they reveal that Mary is the one that has the guy at gunpoint. I was like, what? They're kidding, right? And that was the good thing and the bad thing, is there were multiple moments during this episode that I was like, that doesn't make any sense. They're kidding, right? And like, although they explained some of the things, I was like, oh, that is pretty cool. Some of them I just like, Anyway, the epilogue with Moriarty was awesome. That explains the beginning of this video if you were confused. And yeah, this was a really solid episode, but I think it was just executed not the best. So I give His Last Vow an A-. So yeah, I don't really have much overall thoughts. I think this is probably the best season of the show, because like I said, it doesn't have a bad episode in there. They're all really, really great episodes. Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman are only going to improve from here. I can't wait for the 4th season. I better not be like another year or... it's probably going to be forever before the next season starts, but great show. If you don't watch it and you still watch this, you need to check it out. It's a great show. Overall, I give Sherlock Season 3 an A. Okay, see you next time.